I want it said unequivocally now, Tommy Robinson is very welcome in Advance UK.
There was a massive political event at the weekend, but you probably know nothing about it. That's because the mainstream media, including, by the way, GB News and Talk TV, my two former employers, but shame on them for this, refused to cover the launch of Ben Habib's Advance UK. That is despite the fact that this surging new political party is number one backed by Elon Musk, number two features Tommy Robinson as a member, number three has reached 35,000 paid members in record time and will see Ben Habib, the former deputy leader of Reform UK, at the last election, remember, pump in well over £100,000 of his own money. So why are they not covering Advance UK? Why has the decision just been made to pretend that Advance UK does not exist? Surely this is anti-democratic. Well, I'm going to take you through what actually happened at the launch in just one moment, because as I say, you won't have seen it on any of your other channels. Then we'll get to my superstar panel, Steph the Ultimate Nerd, and Based and Bougie, who was in attendance herself. But what's very interesting is that Tommy Robinson is signaling that he is prepared to become increasingly political, something in the past he has always shied away from. Over the weekend, Kim McGuinness, Labour's North East Mayor, posted on X, Tommy Robinson's brand of hate and division offers the people of the North East absolutely nothing. He won't create jobs, he won't do anything to reduce your energy bills, he won't make your local transport better. And Tommy responded to that writing, I don't really want to do politics, but stand me against her in the next election just so I can hand her P45. He then copied in Ben Habib and Advance UK. And during his speech at the Newcastle venue, and by the way, I have to say, this launch, bless the people of Advance UK, because their first venue cancelled at the last minute. They gave in to political cancel culture, and shame on the first venue for doing so. I believe it was the Crown Plaza in Newcastle, but forgive me if I got that wrong. So it was already a big challenge to even get this event up and running, but the team pressed on, and Ben Habib very much leaned into the fact that Reform UK have previously dismissed Tommy Robinson supporters as that lot. Watch. If you're enjoying what we're doing here on Outspoken, please consider joining our thriving community over on Substack, www.outspoken.live. You can sign up completely for free, but Substack is so important to me. It is a free speech platform. It protects me from big tech cancellation. Plus, you get to communicate directly with me. Head on over www.outspoken.live, enter your email address, and sign up today.
They are not listening. They have turned their backs on the people. That lot, you lot, we are the British people. It may not have all the razzmatazz of the Birmingham NEC, and we don't have flares and we don't have loud music. But I tell you what we do have. We have you lot.
And then Ben Habib made the point that Tommy Robinson is very much welcome in the party.
We did it, folks. We did it. And we are going to be a force with which the other political parties are going to have to reckon. They don't want us. They tried to shut us down today. Now, we might think it was the far left that was trying to shut us down. I don't know. But there were a number of impediments, including LNER, who tried to stop me from getting here. But get here we did. Now, when it comes to the membership, every single member, every single British citizen on the electoral roll is very, very welcome to join Advance UK. We are not policing our membership. And I want it said unequivocally now, Tommy Robinson is very welcome in Advance UK.
Now, you may have picked up there, Ben Habib is suggesting there's been some dirty tricks, not necessarily from the left, but rather potentially from his Reform UK rivals. For example, on the day Advance UK ended up registering with the Electoral Commission, it turned out another party of exactly the same name had also tried to register. What was going on there? But let's just watch Richard Taylor.
We will continue with every fibre of our being to fight, fight, fight. I think Donald Trump said the same thing, didn't he? And together we must do whatever it takes, whatever hill it takes to climb, whatever mountain we must climb, we will climb it together and we will overcome. We will win. In the words of the great Martin Luther King, I've seen the promised land. I've been over the mountain. I may not get there with you, but we will get there in the end. We will overcome. We will be strong. We will be steadfast. We will be diligent. We will be transparent, authentic, and we will be truthful with the great British public. The days of the old way of doing politics is over. This is the dawn of a new day. The lions are roaring. The dragon is breathing its fire. We will raise our flags high with pride. Welcome to Advance UK.
It was very stirring stuff. Howard Cox, now remember, he was Reform UK's London mayoral candidate, even revealed a special outfit on stage.
I got this the wrong way round. Look, for those who don't know me, my name's Howard Cox and I'm an old age pensioner. But also, I'm a far right fascist thug. And more importantly, I'm proud to be one of that lot. Have I got it inside out? Oh no! Oh dear! Oh, I can't. That's right. You've all done very well. Now look, I apologise for that, but I'll show it again.
And for those listening, not watching, Howard Cox then revealed that the back of his little waistcoat said, "Proud to be one of that lot." He also revealed on stage the reasons behind his departure from Reform UK. But first, as I've entered my 40s, aging has become ever present in my life. My body doesn't back up the way it used to, and I've found that it's far easier to get injured when trying to work out, far harder to recover too. But I believe one of the best aging breakthroughs of the last decade is Qualia Senolytic. And I'm going to explain why. Senolytics are a science field revolutionizing human aging. A big culprit behind that middle-aged feeling can be so-called zombie cells that linger in your body after their useful function, wasting your energy and resources. Now, those zombie cells can lead to less energy, slower workout recovery, joint discomfort, and basically feeling old. Now, Qualia Senolytic is a groundbreaking, clinically tested supplement with 9 vegan plant-derived compounds that help your body naturally eliminate these zombie cells, helping you feel years younger in just months. But here's what I absolutely love about this product. You take it just 2 days a month, helping your body naturally eliminate zombie cells to age better at the cellular level. Now, since taking Qualia Senolytic, I've felt like I've turned back the clock. I have higher energy, less soreness after exercise, and a big boost in productivity too. That all equals feeling so much better. So experience the science of feeling younger by going to qualialife.com/Dan for up to 50% off your purchase. Use the code DAN, that's DAN, for an additional 15%. So that's QUALIA life.com/Dan for an extra 15% off your purchase. Your older self will thank you. And by the way, thanks to Qualia for sponsoring this episode. Now, let's get back to it.
But I was told under no uncertain circumstances by Richard Tice and backed up by Nigel Farage, if I continued to back and support Tommy Robinson, I will be expelled from the party. I've just stood for them, London Mayor, and And I just stood down in Dover and came second. I knocked the Tories into third place. So I got 24% of the vote in 3.5 weeks. And there's a lot of good people here, a lot of other people who stood and came second. We did very well in that respect, reform. Do you think they show some sort of respect for me? And then there was this guy that came on board, paid £200,000 for the privilege, called Zia Youssef. And he didn't even come and speak to me. And I just found it staggering. I kept quiet. I was, not being too upset about it. But then I was asked by Dan Wootton on the Dan Wootton show, what do I think of Tommy Robinson? And at that point, I didn't know much about Tommy. All I knew was what he'd done, the great thing about alerting us to the problem of child rape gangs by ethnic groups across the country, particularly Pakistan. And on that point, I said, I've got to find out more about him. So I visited Tommy in prison. And I spent 2 hours with that man. And we talked about two-tier justice. We talked about, equality under the law, all these sorts of things that we're really up problems that he's been talking about for decades, that man. And I was inspired by him.
They also featured young Advance UK members, including Kendall Harper Rays, who said she was cancelled at school and university for her political views until Elon Musk got involved.
At the time, no one listened. I tried to voice my opinions on social media, but they were immediately getting taken down. Without Elon Musk, the silent majority would not have a voice. He cares more about our right to speak than our own Prime Minister does.
And perhaps Shabana Mahmood should have been listening to this young Advance UK star, because she said that the only day she has really felt safe in Sadiq Khan's London was the day of Unite the Kingdom.
He fails to embody the values of our capital and he's a disgrace to the nation. He does not represent us. But there was one day in London where my family and I felt safe. We weren't worried about a single thing. This day was on September the 13th. It was astonishing that as much as the media branded it a far-right fascist protest, it was the safest I had ever felt in London.
So it was quite an extraordinary launch, absolutely very grassroots focused. And let me bring in my superstar panel now, Steph the Alter Nerd and Based and Bougie, who was there covering the event. And Based and Bougie, I obviously would have been there if I hadn't been away traveling. But I find it utterly astonishing that it was left to the likes of you and Liam Tufts to do journalism from that event, because the mainstream media, including Talk TV and GB News, entirely ignored the Advance UK launch. Just entirely ignored it, pretended it didn't even happen. There has been no mainstream media coverage whatsoever, Based in Bougie.
I mean, it's obvious the reason to why they haven't covered it, and that's because the mainstream media has a hatred towards Tommy Robinson. Like Howard Cox said, anyone who supports Tommy Robinson does not get the mainstream media support, which is absolutely unfortunate because, again, what is Tommy guilty of? He's guilty of exposing, rape gangs that happen in the UK. Is absolutely ridiculous. The second reason why I didn't want to cover it is because of the success of it. The fact that almost 300,000 people, they already have 300,000 members or 350,000 members, just goes to show that there is a growing concern within the public, and the public are getting tired and they don't want the public to be aware of this. But I think the thing to, remember is that we don't care whether the media reports it or not, because now we are the media. No one believes BBC News anymore. Nobody believes Sky News anymore. Nobody even listens to these people as their source of information. So we are now the media. So now it's our job to report the truth. And what's happening is that Advance UK has launched, and it will be a big, big threat to other political parties. And can I also point out that whilst I was there, what stood out to me the most was the Ben Habib's willingness to speak to anybody and everybody. I mean, there was a whole hour-long queue of people waiting to speak to Ben, waiting to take pictures with Ben, ask Ben many questions, and he was so open to discussing his plans for this country. So yeah, it was a very, very, very successful event.
Steph, the alternate, it's interesting because Ben Habib has just posted on X in response to Shabana Mahmood's revolting speech at the Labour conference this afternoon where she derided Unite the Kingdom. And remember, Ben Habib was the only political figure, party leader, or anyone who's connected to politics in this country directly to speak at the event. And he's just posted, just heard Shabana Mahmood speak. Like her colleagues, she does not understand her obligations and she is at odds with the majority of British people. Labour is going to be given a drubbing at the next general election. Cannot wait for Advance UK to do its bit in that endeavour. And of course, Steph, there is a new world that Based and Bougie rightly talks about and that Ben Habib spoke about on stage at the event in regards to podcasts and the independent media. But I still think it is disgraceful, absolutely disgraceful, that so-called right-wing mainstream media organisations like GB News and Talk TV that used to love Ben Habib have just pretended that this party launch didn't even happen.
It proves to me one thing, and I would include Reform in this as well, that they're more part of the establishment than they let on, really, at the end of the day. If they were fully independent, completely against the establishment, then the likes of Talk TV and GB News would have also been covering the launch of Advance UK. And so because they didn't, the question is, why? Why? One of the reasons I think with GB News is that Nigel Farage has got GB News in his pocket, and he uses GB News as his mouthpiece for Reform UK. All right. Talk TV, I'm not too sure actually why they didn't cover the Advance UK launch. That really did actually surprise me. But if they think that by ignoring that Advance UK exists, that it's going to go away, they've got another thing coming. It might have worked, that tactic, 20 years ago, but they're not the media anymore. We are. We know everything about Advance UK and everything that they stand for and this launch because of the internet, because of the good work that Based and Bougie did in covering it. And so, yeah, I count them as mainstream media now. If they want to ignore Advance UK, then do you know what? Ignore them at their peril, as far as I'm concerned. One of the things that you played earlier on was, I think it was like Keir Starmer turning around and saying that the Unite the Kingdom free speech protest a couple of years ago sent shivers down his spine and Westminster's spine. And do you know what? Good. Wake the F up. We are here. We are vocal. We are not going anywhere. No matter how much you want to ignore us in mainstream media, we're still here until we save our country from the likes of you and your Labour dictatorship. We're not going anywhere, whether you like it or not.
Thank you so much for watching Dan Wootton Outspoken. Please click on my face just to the bottom left to subscribe to this brand new independent news source and turn on the notification bell so you'll be alerted to our brand new live shows, uncancelled interviews, and special royal episodes. Outspoken is also now available as a podcast, so you can listen to the show every weekday on the go, wherever you are.